let's address what's going on with the second round of PPP funds and a lot of the questions I've been getting about can you still apply, are lenders using gross, and how do you pay yourself this money? You're not going to want to miss this. And real quick, don't forget to like this video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I really appreciate it, so thanks. So you heard right, there is something called the Paycheck Protection Program. And if you are a small business owner, independent contractor, sole proprietor, yes, you can apply now using your 2019 taxes or even your filed 2020. And they are going to give you money to pay yourself as owner's compensation if you have that Schedule C tax document. Now, what's been a game changer these past few weeks is that that calculation is now based on your gross of that Schedule C, that's line 7, not what it used to be, which was line 31. So if you're hearing this for the first time, these rules are new as of a few weeks ago, and potentially there's only a few weeks left unless there is an extension approved by the government. So I just wanted to address if it's possible to actually apply for PPP-1 and PPP-2. Now, timing's going to be of the essence, but the answer is yes. Once you apply for PPP-1, you can expect anywhere between a couple of days to maybe 2 weeks before you get that DocuSign, which is your promissory note that needs to be sent on to get the money deposited. Let's say the SBA takes another week or two. I've heard right around 10 to 14 days. You're looking at about 3 weeks to a month since you've applied before the money's deposited. Now, if there is still time to apply for PPP-2, the fastest turnaround from being able to submit that second application is about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, my sources for that are lenders who are willing to process PPP-1 and PPP-2. And to be clear, some of the major banks are not willing to do that. I've had one-on-one consultations with people trying to help them process loans with Wells Fargo. They are not cooperating. Chase and a number of the other kind of fintechs that you heard of are just sending in the applications and telling the SBA to figure it out. So keeping that in mind, if you still need to apply, I'll leave a link down below to Womply. They are an SBA approved agent who then links you to lenders who are actually accepting the gross line and attempting to process PPP-1 and PPP-2. Now, one of the other major questions that I'm seeing a spike in like an old video I made, is how to pay yourself your PPP money. Unfortunately, the guidance is essentially next to nothing if you are a sole proprietor. So I'll leave a link down below in the description to my website. I have just updated an article essentially laying out the best practices. You have 24 weeks, that's known as the covered period, to use the funds up. So I will walk you through the best ways to do that in that article. Be sure to check that out. Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging, so just a quick recap about that is many people, when you're applying, you're connecting your business or personal accounts, and those accounts have multiple transactions for things that might show up and not have anything to do with your actual business. The occasional personal meal, maybe you've got a Netflix subscription. So my recommendation is if you are having your PPP funds deposited into a pre-existing account, then open up in the meantime a brand new account. No, it does not have to be a business account. Rather, you just want a brand new account. I am suggesting 2 different banks, one with a high interest rate and one that's actually going to give you $50 when you make that first initial deposit of $500 or more. That first bank is CIT. They are an FDIC insured bank. They have been around for a long time. It's one of those online banks that if you are putting money in and maintaining a certain balance, they'll give you a higher interest rate. The other bank, SoFi, is really something that I've been pushing a lot to my friends and subscribers simply because it's everything in one app. But the point is, when you create this new account and you have the money there, you're going to start to generate brand new, clean documents and statements. Those documents and statements, when and if someone ever asked, how did you pay yourself, you can print out a PDF or do a screenshot and send it. And nowhere on that documentation is going to be any other transaction except you sending the money back to that original account or another personal account to quote unquote pay yourself. To my business owners who use accounting software, I wouldn't pay yourself through payroll because you're going to have taxes and things taken out. And PPP money is not taxable income. It does work differently, so you need to sort of check that. And if you need help, you can book me for a one-on-one consultation. Now, one of the last things to talk about isn't really on people's minds yet. It used to be, and it will be soon, and we're talking about forgiveness. As of January 2021, yes, there is a revised S form, think of it like the simple form, for forgiveness. You can apply for PPP forgiveness as soon as you've used up all the funds. Now, you are going to need to apply separately for first draw, PPP 1, and second draw, PPP 2. So there'll be 2 forgiveness forms. And you send those to the lender. However, many lenders are creating their own forgiveness portals. So you might have to pump the brakes a little bit because those portals aren't even open or available yet. Trust me when I say that there's going to be a wave of people applying, and essentially, if your loan was under that $150,000 mark, there's going to be a bit of quote unquote blanket forgiveness. Now, don't get me wrong. They have the right to ask for documents if you haven't provided them yet. That's where those bank statements come into play as well. However, they are probably going to be going after bigger fish and checking those $1 million PPP loans, and yours that was a few thousand or maybe even 10 or 20,000. So long as you used it honestly and properly, they are going to make sure you checked all the boxes and give you forgiveness. But just be patient because that process is not really going right now, and it may still be months before the lenders and the SBA begin to approve all of that. A few key takeaways. A few weeks ago, there were major changes to PPP where you could use gross income to calculate the amount of loan you would be getting. PPP is supposed to stop in a few weeks. However, there's already whispers and talks of an extension. So if you are wondering if you can still apply, I have left links down below in the description where you could click and see if lenders are still accepting. Along those same lines, check out my blog post to see how you can properly pay yourself PPP funds. That information is specifically geared towards sole proprietors, those who file a Schedule C. And lastly, be aware of the forgiveness process. I did a video on that S form, and there actually has been 1 revision since. So check that out just so you have the knowledge when it comes time to apply for forgiveness. There's tons of information on my website, so please go and check that out. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.